Wildflower Lacquer is offering some overpour of past releases with the November 2022 launch on November 6 at noon Central Standard Time. This will include overpour of the Tangled Tinsel Mysteries from 2021. These came in bags of 3 and you are allowed to purchase 3. I have 9 of the 12 shades I can show you. I also have Pumpkin Wien, one of the Harley's Holos series. I'm starting with the Tangled Tinsel series. All of these had great quick drying formulas. The first one, Wildflower Lacquer Bauble, is a sky blue jelly with hollow microflakes and pink to green multichrome iridescent shimmer. I wore this in 4 thin coats, but 2 or 3 will cover. Wildflower Lacquer Glisten is a marigold jelly with hollow microflakes. I wore this in 4 thin coats, but 2 or 3 will cover. This color may stain some nails. Wildflower Lacquer Jeweled Tinsel is a silver jelly with pink to green multichrome iridescent shimmer and hollow microflakes. I wore this in 4 thin coats, but 2 or 3 will cover. Wildflower Lacquer Lambent is a brown with red, gold, green multichrome shimmer and scattered hollow shimmer. I wore this in 3 thin coats, but 2 will cover. Wildflower Lacquer Let Me Tinsel You In is a cool blue jelly with green to blue duochrome iridescent shimmer, a mix of multichrome iridescent flakes, and hollow microflakes. I wore it in 4 thin coats and it retains some translucency. Wildflower Lacquer Luminosity is a bright blue jelly with purple, blue, green multichrome iridescent shimmer. I wore it in 4 thin coats and it retained some translucency. Sadly, there is no overpour of this one. Wildflower Lacquer Midnight Tinsel is a gray jelly with aqua, blue, magenta, gold, multichrome iridescent shimmer and flakes, and hollow microflakes. I wore this in 4 thin coats, but 2 or 3 will cover. Wildflower Lacquer Tinsel Koi is a cyan jelly with red, gold, green, blue, multichrome iridescent flakes and hollow microflakes. I wore this in 4 thin coats and it retains some sheerness. It can also be used as a topper. Wildflower Lacquer Twinkling Tinsel is a royal purple with magenta blue duochrome iridescent shimmer and hollow microflakes. I wore this in 4th and coats, but 2 or 3 will cover. This is a polish that will look darker, less hollow, and more blue once you apply top coat. You can layer a water-based top coat before the final coat if you want it to look more like it does in the bottle. Finally, Wildflower Lacquer Pumpkin Wien is the Harley's Holos shade. It is a burnt orange, strong linear hollow. I wore it in 2 thin coats, but even 1 may cover. This polish will stain susceptible nails.